I'm your host, Eric Eisenberg. Welcome to Hero Blend number 28. We've been waiting for this weekend for a really long time, everyone. Guardians of the Galaxy is finally hitting theaters, and we couldn't be more excited. Does it live up to expectations? Watch on to find out. Welcome back, everyone. I am extremely excited to have on this week Jack Giroux from Film School Rejects. How's it going, man?
Good, thanks for having me.
So we are talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, which is out this weekend, and I love this film. I mean, it's fantastic, yeah?
Yeah, it's really good. I don't love it quite as much as you do.
Okay.
I love what it is, though, and I love that it exists.
Totally. What were your kind of opinions going in on this? I mean, what was your feelings about what Marvel has done with their cinematic universe? What were your feelings when you were sitting in the theater waiting for it to start?
Well, I liked it, but I think it was starting to get to the point where they all kind of blend together. My feelings were like, oh, the first two acts are really good. The third act kind of lets me down.
Okay.
So, like, I like their movies. Like, there's only Iron Man 2 is the only one I have negative feelings towards. When Thor 2.
Understandable, yeah.
But, like, I just thought, like, this was their chance to do something really different with having James Gunn, and I was, like, really satisfied with the fact that they let him make a James Gunn movie.
And that's absolutely true. Like, I mean, I'm a James Gunn fan. Like, I mean, I love both Super and Slither, I think, are fantastic films. And that's what kind of amazed me about this film, is that in similar ways to what Shane Black did with Iron Man 3, this is a James Gunn film. It's, like, filled with that James Gunn dialogue. The interaction between the characters is fantastic. I love that infusion.
Right. With this one, you can't say I've seen a superhero movie like this before.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like, it has some of the same tropes of stuff like that in Marvel, like the MacGuffin, but it still feels completely different. Like, you haven't seen a superhero movie like this before.
Totally. And on that note, I mean, you have this cast of characters, which, again, you've never seen anything like this. I mean, it's a talking tree, a talking raccoon. Well, you can barely even call it a talking tree because it says three words, which are I, am, and Groot, which mean completely different things. It's a completely weird collection of characters, but what I'm amazed by is that I didn't find that anyone exactly stole the show.
There's no weak link either. Yeah.
There's no weak link. Yeah. Every single character gets their own moment in the stars. Right. Well, in the spotlight.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought David Bautista was going to be kind of the wild card. Like, just that stigma, like, he comes from wrestling, but, like, he's great.
Yeah.
No perfect. Every joke he lands.
Totally. And, like, he has a lot to work with. Right. I mean, that's kind of the benefit, is that he's not just the big muscle. Like, he has this weird thing, not only with his speech, but that he doesn't understand metaphor.
Right.
So, like, he doesn't like, let things go over his head because he'll catch them. Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But you also have not only that funny side to the characters, but you also have a real emotionality to it as well. I think especially that comes through in Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, yeah, that's a great scene. The one where he kind of... Can we say spoiler to this?
Yeah, this is a fully spoiler review, please.
Like, when he kind of has this breakdown, like, it feels unexpected. You don't expect a talking raccoon to kind of break down in this way.
Totally.
And it really works. It is an emotional moment.
And it's just... I mean, when you really think about it from a larger perspective, this is a drunk raccoon in a bar who's just having a fight with a bunch of aliens.
Alien dogfight.
And they suddenly... And, like, he just has this incredible moment of pathos where he's like, I'm a tortured creature. You can call me vermin. Like this is, and it's kind of teased earlier in the prison when Star-Lord first sees like his surgical scars on his back, which is really horrible to see. And but also on that end, I think just continuing that, you start off this movie in such an interesting way also because you have, I mean, completely unexpected. You start off with Star-Lord losing his mom. I mean, which is unlike anything we've seen from Marvel.
I think you know within the first 5 minutes if this movie's for you or not. To go from a scene like that, which, like, emotionally, like, it works, and you're surprised. Like, you get thrown into a hospital, and you're already starting to feel for this character, and then that amazing opening title card.
Come and get your love. Yeah,
it's so great, and that immediately, like, makes you like Peter Quill, because it's like, everybody's done that before.
Exactly.
Like, it makes you relate to this character.
In fact, I've been listening to the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack since, and I have had the urge to kind of just dance my way across the street. But I think on that note, it's also worth mentioning Chris Pratt is going to be a star. Like, superstar here.
Like, my brother keeps saying, like, Andy Dwyer, like, Burt Macklin from FBI,
yeah.
He can do everything in this movie. He gets, like, the emotion, the drama, he gets the action. Like, he does not have one flaw in this movie. He's, like, a perfect hero. He's, like, this, like, century's Indiana Jones.
Exactly. I mean, and it's kind of a weird, like, Indiana Jones meets Marty McFly, meets Han Solo, meets Luke Skywalker. It's kind of all this mishmash in one, but it's with Chris Pratt's charisma, which carries it through, and it's also just the fact that every single line out of his mouth has kind of that snarky, just bring it humor that, I mean, it's filled with references, like when he calls a Sakaar and a teenage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and he's talking about Footloose with Gamora. And it's full of that kind of great stuff, and he sells it so well.
Yeah, and Vulnerable too. You get the moments where you think like this guy's actually scared of what's happening. There is that everyday kind of joke quality to him, where it's not like a lot of superheroes where it's just like they got this.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, we talked about the kind of talky comedy aspect of it, which we kind of expect from James Gunn, but there's also the fact that this is a beautiful sci-fi film. Like, it's like obviously
the most beautiful Marvel movie.
Oh, certainly. I mean, and it's unlike anything James Gunn has ever done, simply because he hasn't had the budget to create something like it. But it is just, it's a visual spectacular. It's visually spectacular.
Right. No, there's a lot of stunning scenes, like the production design too. It's just like, it's so easy to kind of get caught up in like, you know, the rainy day Blade Runner look or Star Wars look. This feels like its own kind of thing. Like when you're in the collector's workshop, it's just, I haven't seen a shop like that before.
No, exactly.
Sci-fi movie.
And also, I mean, of course, it's also fantastic for Marvel fans, because if you look around, you see all kinds of Easter eggs.
Which I might do on second viewing.
I actually did my second viewing just last night, so I am all up to date. I don't know if you saw him, but Howard the Duck makes a wonderful appearance. If you pay attention, he's right when the collectors, when they're all in there, he's above the head. It's a fantastic cameo. Definitely look out for it. But also, just on that visual note, there's also the 3D, which I was kind of impressed with. Yeah, it's Marvel kind of, since Thor has made all of their movies 3D, but they haven't been good 3D.
Right, no, Thor 2 was like the wrong movie to do that too, because it's such a darkly lit film. Like, you're just getting a dimmer image where like this, like, it's such a poppy kind of colorful aesthetic, and just like they really play around with it in like different ways. I thought it was cool.
And it's like, that's exactly it. It's like a very bright, colorful film, and I mean, it has its moments of darkness, which largely concern Ronan.
But you always know what's happening. Like,
exactly, yeah.
Like I had to like squint or lean forward.
It's never murky, and having seen it, I got to see it in IMAX last night, which is, I mean, this is a movie that, I mean, as with all pretty much like space opera sci-fi like this, you want to see it on as big a screen as possible, and it functions beautifully, and it's a stunning film all around.
Right. And you know, mentioning it's a big sci-fi film or like space opera, I thought it never kind of lost itself in scope. Like I think the biggest problem so far with a lot of Marvel third acts is that, like the Avengers, it turns into characters shooting at a bunch of CGI aliens, where I thought the third act here is very grounded and personal, and like the action wasn't too big, and I just thought the movie did not lose its humanity at the end.
Well, what's interesting about it is that it is kind of big, because you have like the Dark Aster coming to Xandar, and you have all this space battle going on, but where you're spending time is inside the ship, and with these intimate battles, or with Yondu down on the ground, which is again one of my favorite scenes, simply because Michael Rooker, he steals every moment in this film.
And that he speaks so well to the tone of this movie, where like he wants, like they wanted to eat Peter Quill and they stopped him, and it's this weird father-son kind of relationship. And it's just like, it goes back to the beginning where you go from emotional scene to this big comedy. It's like, you know pretty soon that that's going to work for you. Like I don't know anyone that hasn't really worked for yet.
Exactly. I've yet to meet anyone who hasn't loved this film, and also the inclusion of Michael Rooker is just yet enough to take us kind of back to the beginning, another sign that this is a pure James Gunn film, because you have him, you have Nathan Fillion making a cameo. I mean, this is a very James Gunn film, a very Marvel film. It's really fantastic all around. Jack, give me your final thoughts on this movie, man.
I think it's awesome. Like, you know, I think it has some problems. Like, I thought, you know, mentioning the collector's workshop, like, I wanted to spend more time in there. I wanted more Glenn Close. I wanted some more of those side characters, because there's a good amount going on. And I, like, you know.
And they're also entertaining, again.
Oh, yeah. So I thought, like, there was some stuff I wanted more of, because the movie's pretty busy as is, but, like, it just, I love the fact that we have a superhero movie with dick jokes.
Yes! Like, he got my dick message!
Yeah. And there's so many more dick jokes.
Exactly. And also, surprisingly, never the word shit. But, at the same time, it's an all audiences film. Like, I feel like young kids that have, if they're comfortable with Star Wars, you can see this movie. I think that everybody is going to enjoy it.
And to that point, you know, mentioning those dick jokes, like, I had somebody ask me, like, is it cool with kids? And I feel like it's no dirtier than a movie like Transformers, but like that's in service of such like a mean movie where like the message here, it's just so good.
It's about, like, beautiful and heartfelt, and it kind of the entire movie. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, that intro scene where he's dancing to "Come and Get Your Love," which is a song about a guy, like, there's love out there for you, go and find it. That's what this movie is about. He finds his family, he finds the people. It's about a movie about you needing people in your life and coming together, and it really drives that message home. And
so all those dirty jokes kind of service a really nice message.
Exactly.
I don't think it's inappropriate for kids. Like if I saw this as an 8-year-old, I think like this is the coolest movie I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
And speaking of that soundtrack, it's such a great character detail knowing like his mom must have been like the coolest
mom ever.
Quill is so cool.
Yeah.
The fact that she made him these great mixtapes.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
So everyone, I think it's safe to say, go see Guardians of the Galaxy this weekend. A few times. I plan on going and seeing it a third time at midnight. Jack, thank you so much for being on the show with me, man.
Anytime.
Great. And have it seen.